Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel. Once again, welcome to the delayed flight. I don't know, this airport, Riga International, has honey. I don't know if it has honey, because somehow very popular lately. It seems that we cannot leave this airport. Maybe Lufthansa also has honey, because it seems that we cannot leave Lufthansa. Lufthansa carried the Dragon from Jerusalem to Thessaloniki, and here we are again with the 777F, with the 777 freighter. Anyhow, there was a clip, not a long time ago, there was a clip about the setup of the cameras. And this clip had the title, MSFS 2020 Custom Camera Views External, How to Go Out of the Plane. You can see it in the description above on the upper right corner, I suppose. And there is a comment from a friend of the channel, ex-bossy2. So the boss asks actually, and the boss seems to be Greek because he writes in Greek language. So he writes, I have a problem, how can I turn the camera with the keyboard? And I answer to him that you can turn the camera using the cross on the numpad, which is 8, 4, 6 and 2. On the numpad, the arrows, this way you change your camera views. For instance, if we go to drone camera, and the drone camera is this one, I suppose you know already these controls, isn't it? W, S, R, F and so on. And so you turn the camera, isn't it? With the cross 8462 with the arrows on the numpad. So that was the answer, which is pretty clear, isn't it? However, the boss replies that okay, I did all these things, but when I leave the camera on the window, so that means that he brings the safe mode, I suppose, and I see the wing, the airplane continues moving and the camera goes up and down. Okay. So this was a little bit suspicious because this particular clip about the cameras concerns the 777F, the 777 cargo of Captain Sim, and a way in general that you can exploit, and explore actually a mistake of Captain Sim that gives us this ability to go outside of the plane actually, isn't it? And we said if the airplanes have cabins, you can have a thorough look and you can exploit and explore such mistakes that gives you this wonderful opportunity to go outside of the plane and save wonderful camera views without changing the axis, the XYZ axis, which is quite dangerous. There are also tutorials about this issue, and I'm not suggesting you to change the XYZ axis because you maybe have problems with your planes. Actually, you may destroy your planes. Can be as well the 777-300 or the 777-200 or the 767-3 and 400. For instance, though this is not our matter right now, such a hole, let me put it this way, such a mistake in the code of Captain Sim, such a wonderful mistake actually, is somewhere here. This is just an example. Have a look please. You see here exactly. You see that you can go outside of the plane. There are also other such mistakes, and we exploit such mistakes. For instance, have a look here. Exactly. So here, you see, I went outside of the plane, exactly. You must spend some time. You will search the interior of the planes that have cabins. This is just an example, okay. Outside of the plane, and now you can save any view you want. You can go anywhere you like and you can save the camera views. And by the way, if you use the mouse, right click on the mouse, you can as well change your position and you can save your desired camera view. And this is how we save these wonderful camera views. For instance, these are my saved camera views of the 777F. And from time to time I change them. Okay, sometimes we use this perspective. The WAG camera, yeah, here is the WAG camera. What's up, guys? And the cockpit cameras and so on. Okay. And so I had the sense that actually my friend Boss was not using the 777F, but maybe another plane. And I asked him, there is a dialogue between us in this clip that I mentioned earlier, which is the plane that you use and what mode do you use? Do you use the cockpit mode, the external mode, or the drone mode? And I write to him that actually this is a tutorial, that was a tutorial about the 777 cargo, the 777F of Captain Sim, and actually of all the planes of Captain Sim. You can exploit such mistakes. So finally, part of the problem is solved because the boss answers that he is in the drone mode in Xbox. And actually he mentions some controls that I don't know. He says that if I want to go up, I press E, and if I want to go down, I press Q on the keyboard. Once and for all, and this thing I have repeated other times, we have the Premium Deluxe Edition. We have the Premium Deluxe Edition of MSFS 2020. This is the version I use. I don't know if the boss has the game in his computer, in his tower, or he has it in his Xbox, if he uses an Xbox controller, or if he has the game in the Xbox console. So whatever we say here, it is about the MSFS 20 Premium Deluxe Edition for PC, once and for all. This is all about the PC version of the game. The truth is that I don't want to change my position, but I will do so just to show to the boss, which I suspect that it is his mistakes. Okay. When we are inside the plane, now I'm inside the cockpit of the plane, the controls are different. Those things I have said so many times. For instance, when I'm here, okay, I use Alt and the arrows inside the cockpit or inside the cabin. Okay. Now I use the arrows, and it is the arrows of the numpad, left, okay, left, right, up and down, or you can as well press Alt and the arrows on the numpad, and we turn with Shift and the arrows on the numpad. Here it is, Shift and the arrows on the numpad. Okay. So when you exploit such mistakes, you do something like this. You are inside the cockpit or the cabin and you go here. That was the example I gave earlier, you see. Now we use Alt and the arrows or Shift and the arrows, and this is the way we go out if we find such mistakes in Captain Sim's planes, okay. However, I'm afraid that the boss made one of the most common mistakes, and I have seen such things in your clips, because many of you who follow my channel, you have your own channels, okay? So I usually have a look at your clips. So I suppose the boss did something like this. Okay, this is the drone mode with his Xbox, whatever, Xbox controller or Xbox console. So I think that the boss didn't use the commands for the cabin, but he used the drone mode to go inside and outside of his plane. This is the drone mode. It is not the cockpit mode. Alt and the arrows, Shift and the arrows. This is a total different mode. Have a look here. You see? And so I suppose that using the drone camera, he found indeed himself outside of the plane, okay, and he saved, let's say, a camera view like this. I will give you an example. This is a very common mistake, okay. So he saved a camera like this with a drone mode, okay? However, this is something totally different because here we are in the drone mode. We went outside of the plane or inside the plane, isn't it, with the drone mode. I was not talking about the drone mode when you save the cameras. I was talking about the cockpit mode, the internal mode. Okay. So if you are here, have a look now, and you have saved a camera with the drone mode, have a look. You see, I will go out of the runway little by little. I pressed C, by the way, isn't it? Somewhere here is the exit. Now, if you saved a camera using the drone mode, of course, the view will change. This is just an example, see? And I'm afraid this is exactly what my friend the boss did, you see? Because I suppose that he saved, okay, something like this. He saved the camera view with the drone mode. Exactly. I will mow the grass totally. Now I'm doing terrible things. Okay. There are three major modes in the game. The cockpit mode. This is the cockpit mode right now. We are inside the cockpit. And we change position using the arrows on the numpad. Left, right, up and down. And shift and the arrows to turn. Okay? We turned. We want to go out of the cockpit. Okay. Arrows on the numpad or Alt plus arrow on the numpad. Right, left, up and down. If you want to exploit such mistakes, okay, for instance here you will explore this. Here we are, for instance, outside of the plane. Here is another mistake, somewhere here, you see, somewhere here. Exactly, you went out. How you went out? Not with the drone mode, but with the cockpit mode using the arrows. Alt plus arrows on the numpad, and you turn with Shift plus arrow on the numpad. I could as well save a camera, for instance, like this here. But I'm using the controls of the cockpit, not the drone camera. Exactly. I can save this camera, for instance. Or I can return inside my cockpit, isn't it? Using Alt and the arrows or Shift and the arrows. Okay. Now, if you are in drone mode, now for instance here I am in the drone mode. Why my speed brakes are deployed? Okay, they are not deployed anymore. So if you are in the drone mode and you are trying to save a point of view like this, for instance, and you save this camera, yes, it is wonderful, but if you save this camera, exactly, why my position is changing? You see, why is my position changing? Because I saved an external camera with the drone mode. This is why. Cockpit mode. Alt and the arrows, Shift and the arrows. Okay. Turning. This is the first mode. External mode. This is the external mode. Right click on the mouse and you change your position. Okay, this is another mode, the external mode. If you want to magnify, use the scroll. How it is called? The scroll button, it is called, I think, on your mouse. You see, use this one. Right click and you change your position. This is another mode. drone mode. This is the drone mode. Insert ASDFR, ASDRF, and the arrows on the numpad. Okay, I think it is pretty clear. However, if you save a camera with a drone mode, you will have such kind of problems. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is all for now. Thank you for watching this clip and hope to see you soon to the next one. Till then, you take care and bye for now.